Welcome to episode number 22 of Mariners Down Under. It's your weekly look at the Seattle Mariners, just with an Australian twist. In this week's episode, we're going to have a look at Cal Raleigh breaking the American League pre-All-Star home run record, and also how the boys sit heading into the All-Star break. We'll also look at what we can expect heading into this year's MLB draft, and what cards we've got up our sleeve. We'll have a look at some of our friends of the podcast and how they've been performing, and we'll give you an update on how you can win tickets to the Everett Aquasox, and of course our major giveaway, which is still going on. So let's get into it. After a winning homestand where the boys went 5-2, courtesy of a split against the Royals and a sweep of the Pirates, they then headed off to the Big Apple, where things unfortunately didn't quite go to plan. And then they've made the quick flight over to Detroit, where today in Game 1 they have belted the Tigers and Tariq Skubal 12-3. But the big news out of the game today was Cal Raleigh. He blasted another 2 home runs, the second being a grand slam, which puts his home run tally today at 38 home runs and 81 RBIs so far for the season. He is the first player ever to head into the break with 38 and 80. He's only 1 run behind the legendary Barry Bonds for the most home runs ever before the break. Barry Bonds had 39. Cal has 2 games. He's got 2 chances to rewrite history. And this isn't a fluke either. While Cal is definitely reaching new heights this season, he's been on a journey of self-improvement every single year. Last year, we thought he broke out with 34 bombs. Turns out, that was just a warm-up. And this is a guy who is constantly beat up. He's crouching, he's being hit, he's copping bats, he's copping baseballs, and every day he finds a way to show up for his team, and he finds a way to help the Mariners win ball games. Sometimes he simply just puts them on his back and he wills them to where they need to go and single-handedly helps them win. And the best part is, you never hear a peep from him. Sure, he's around a little bit more now. You see him on ads, you see him on YouTube shows. Sure, that's all happened. Most people now seem to know his name. But he is still humble and team-first Cal Raleigh. He's hopefully soon to be MVP Cal Raleigh, and he most certainly will be future Mariners Hall of Famer Cal Raleigh. And I feel so lucky that I have been able to not only watch this man play live, but also watch him hit home runs live. And this is something that I will remember, that we were here to witness this greatness in 2025. The next 2 games are really important. And they're not just important for Cal, but they're also really important for the future of this team and our 2025 hopes. So the boys are still a little way off the Astros, who, my goodness, they just seem to never have a bad year. But they're a little ahead of the Rangers. It's actually the wild card where it's really tight right now for us. So since the Blue Jays and Rays have decided that they want to win a heap of ball games, it's meant that the Mariners and Red Sox are duking it out for the final wild card place right now. The Red Sox also, unfortunately, seem to have hit their stride. So we're going to cross our fingers that somebody gives them a touch-up soon. So as of this morning, this is before Game 1 of the Detroit series, Boston were a game ahead of the Mariners in the final place of the wildcard standings, with a 7-game winning streak propelling them forward. They had gone 9-1 in their last 10, and that also clocked up their 50th win. Now, thankfully, they're facing the Rays in this sort of pre-All-Star game final series, so hopefully those two can land a few blows on one another. And then after the break for the Red Sox are the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Dodgers for the next few series. So you'd like to think that they would cool down a little bit. But you can only control your own destiny. So the Mariners will need to deal with Casey Mize on the mound in the Motor City for Game 2, and then Jack Flaherty will finish things off for Game 3. Thankfully, we're going to counter with Gilby. That's a cool name. With Kirby and Gilbert. Could you imagine if you had a player with the control and command of George Kirby and Logan Gilbert stuff? Like, we wouldn't even know who Paul Skeens is. We'd be talking about this Gilby guy. Then after the break, we are going to have our own battles to face. So it's Houston for 3, and then it is Milwaukee before we deal with the Angels and the A's to end our July. So It's really on us to win. It is on us to control the controllable, and it's on us to make sure that we do not leave anything to chance at the end of the year. Speaking of the All-Star break, there's been some pretty big news in the last 24 hours, with the Mariners reporting that Julio Rodriguez will sit out the All-Star game. When I saw this, I panicked. To be fair, it was before 6 a.m. in the morning. I was woken up. I was getting ready for work. My eyes and my mind were not as sharp as they should be. So I had a bit of a moment. I'm not going to lie to you. But the Mariners have said it so he can rest, recover, and reload for a big back half. Now, Julio is my guy. He is an incredible person, and I've had the pleasure of getting to know him a little. And all I will say is if you ever question this bloke's commitment to this team and wanting to win, then you need to just think back to this moment. He is here. He is present, and it is clear he is doing everything that can be done to help him help us. I've got no doubt results will come from Julio, and honestly, a little bit of time away, a little bit of time to refresh and recuperate could just be the thing he needs. The Mariners will still have plenty of representation at the big game, though. Cal is there, as we know, and Munoz and Woo will also be on the rosters. And then this morning, it was announced that Randy would be going too, which is reward for what a sensational season he's having as well. On Bryan Woo, gosh, what an effort by him against the New York Yankees. 7 1/3 innings, 103 pitches. He showed me a little bit of everything. He showed me resilience early, and then that turned into dominance. And then we saw some poise. And then what I loved the most was the finale, and that was the class and sportsmanship. Giving Jazz Chisholm a little respect after the Yankee finally made contact against the young Mariners ace in the 8th inning. After walking the first 2 batters of the game, Bryan Woo then retired the next 20 batters in a row. He used the fastball, which, in my opinion, is the best fastball in all of baseball. He threw that 74% of the time. But it was his setup stuff too. So Aaron Judge has been brutal against the fastball. And not brutal as in bad for him. Brutal as in anyone that throws him a fastball is going to get punished. So Bryan Woo came at him a different way. He threw Aaron Judge 10 sweepers to set him up, and then he could use the fastball to punch him out. Between this and the nod to Atlanta, the secret is well and truly out on Bryan Woo. And the best part of it is Bryan Woo is all self-made. So he's gone from being the 75th best pitcher by ERA in his college conference in his draft year, to finishing his final season at Cal Poly by undergoing Tommy John. And Bryan has shattered every single obstacle that life has put in front of him. He has burst through all of them, and he has come out succeeding on the other side. And I'm sure this has not been easy for him. I am sure that he has faced challenges at every twist and every turn. But when we see this bloke on the mound, there is determination in his eyes. He doesn't even look at the crowd as he comes off at the end of an innings. He's within himself, he's reflecting, he's preparing, and he's executing. When he's on the field, he is an absolute weapon. When he's off the field, the guy is all smiles. He's the exact kind of guy that we as fans love and we gravitate towards. He is a credit to himself. And he's also clearly a credit to the people who have helped mold him into the young man he is today, and have helped grow him as a person and a player. He's doing all of them proud. So did we win the game? No. But can we just take a moment to appreciate Bryan Woo and the greatness that we witnessed from that young pitcher in that game? So Bryan, if you hadn't guessed, is our first positive point for the week. Dom Canzone made the list last week, and he's been too good not to get another gig. So in the last 7 days, it's an average over 500, with 15 at-bats resulting in 8 hits and 2 doubles. He has been really big since he returned to the Major League roster. And having someone with the strength and power to hit it over the fence at any ballpark at any time has been really bloody good. So the former 8th round pick is at 306 on the year as his average, with 6 bombs, 9 RBI, and an OPS of 895. And his game yesterday really sealed the deal for me. 4 at-bats, 3 hits, 4 total bases, and a double. So way to grind in the minors and way to impact the big league ball club. Well done, Dominic Canzone, our second positive point for the week. And third and final one is Edward Bizzardo. Needs a little bit of respect on his name, I reckon. So it's a 2.72 ERA with 46.1 innings pitched this year. He struck out 42 at the time of these notes, and over his past 7, he'd thrown 8 innings, striking out 10 batters. This gives him an ERA of 1.13 over that sample size. And this is just a guy that is doing his best and playing his role. And when he is called upon, he gives 110%. He is used that often and that heavily. He's got back-to-back games. It doesn't matter what it is. He shows up and he is ready to go. He is a workhorse. And for that, he has my appreciation. He has my admiration. And here's our third positive point for the week. So some more good news. And that is that the Mariners will be adding even more talent to our already loaded farm system in the next few days. The big news is obviously that we hold the number 3 pick, but exactly who we get, that is just one huge guess. Mariners draft genius, or Vice President of Amateur Scouting, as his official title says, Scott Hunter, he was quoted in saying that they just do not have a consensus on who their guy is at number 3. And that's because there's no clear-cut guy at number 1, let alone at pick 3. So MLB Pipeline's latest draft has Cade Anderson and Liam Doyle. They're both college lefties coming off the board at 1 and 2. And if you know me, I am very much an advocate for the Mariners having a high-quality left-handed arm join our rotation sooner rather than later. So my preference is that one of those two guys fall. But if the mock is correct, then they have Seth Hernandez, who's a right-handed arm out of high school. He will fall to number 3, and the Mariners will select him. Now, we can speculate all day long about who will do what and what will do who. But you know on here we're all about facts, and that is what we're going to do. And that is what we're following, and that's what I'm most keen on. So the Mariners' selection next after pick 3 is pick 35 in the competitive balance round A draft. That is a mouthful after 10 hours of work today. That comes with some nice bonus pool money too. So they actually have the most draft money. So that could lead to some very interesting selections at 3 and then potentially a reach at 35 and something over slot. And then it will be picks 57, 91, 122, and 152 to round out the 5th inning. So look, I've got no idea what's going to happen. None of us do, because we are nobodies with no crystal balls in our possession. But what I do know is this draft is exciting, and if you can, you should absolutely be paying attention. So some guys who have recently experienced the MLB draft process, well, they've been putting on a bit of a show lately. So let's take a look at how some of our friends of the podcast have been doing. Bill Knight in the last week has hit 258 with 8 hits, 3 doubles, and 6 RBIs. He's also managed to swipe 5 bags. Austin Kitchen, last week's guest, has a 0.0 ERA so far this month, throwing 4.1 innings and only allowing 2 hits. Ryan Sloan has thrown 9 innings for a 1.00 ERA. He's also managed to strike out 12 so far in his 2 outings. Tyler Cleveland has a 0.0 ERA for June, throwing 3 innings and allowing just 1 hit. And Stefan Wraith joins Cleavers throwing a 0.0 ERA. He's got 0 hits, 0 runs, and 0 errors through 3.2 innings. Now, those 2 guys that finished off our list there are Everett Aquasox, and we're running 2 giveaways at the moment. And the first is that you can win yourself a ticket to the Everett Aquasox game on August the 7th. Not only will you win yourself a ticket to sit with us, but you're also going to win yourself a drink voucher as well. So who doesn't love a free beer? There's going to be about 20 of us going. That's the amount of tickets that we've got. All our friends and listeners of the podcast, we're all going to be there. It is going to be a really great group of like-minded people. We're also going to be pulling on some strings and calling in some favours. So we'll get a few of the Aquasox boys to come over and say g'day and grab a photo or 2. Maybe a scribble if you're lucky and you're polite. But to win one of 5 free passes, all you've got to do is go to our Instagram page and find the giveaway post and comment who your favourite Mariners minor league player is, and that will be drawn in late July, and we'll be able to get you your ticket and your drink for the game on August 7th at Funko Field. And of course, our major prize pack is still up for grabs. It's got hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of signed and numbered baseball cards in it. There is a Cal Raleigh on-card auto rookie card. There's a Matt Brash rookie auto, a Munoz auto, a Kirby Bowman first. There's so much in this prize pack. What we need to do is we need to hit 1,000 followers. We're at like 660, 670 right now. So get your work colleagues, get your friends at school, get everyone on board because we want to give that one away ASAP. Because once that is ticked off, there is a signed Julio Rodriguez jersey that we will be giving away. But I'm not even going to advertise that until we've hit 1,000 followers. So get on it. Help us, help yourself, and you never know. You could be walking away with a few $100 worth of baseball cards, or you could be walking away in the future with a Julio Rodriguez signed jersey, which will be our next giveaway. So that's enough from me on my end. It is now time to get into this week's player interview. Today's guest is a bloke who I think it's fair to say would fly under the radar for most casual fans when it comes to arms in our system. Now, he was the 16th round pick in the 2021 MLB draft, and if you follow along with his career numbers, I think you'll find that he is a hard worker and somebody who strives to make changes and improvements year after year. I think he's a gem of a find in that draft, and he is somebody who you should absolutely be paying attention to, and I'm looking forward to unpacking his story today. Jimmy Joyce, welcome, mate, and again, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Nate. I'm excited.
Now, first things first, mate, you're back. How's the body feeling?
Body's feeling good, man. I had a little, 6 to 8 week stint on the IL. Got a few cortisones in the shoulder, but now we're feeling great. Got my first outing back under my belt the other night, so I mean that was electric to be back out there.
And when you are out through injury, like 99% of the time, it's not your fault. I did see a guy today that plays in the NFL that's hurt his eye from a firework injury, so he's probably in that 1% that is your fault. But most of the time, it's just an accident, mate, and it's one of those things. So how do you keep yourself in good spirits when maybe you can't throw or work on bettering yourself in a traditional sense of putting work in on the mound? What do you do to keep the mentals fresh?
Well, I think being injured gives you the opportunity for like a perspective shift. Like I was telling my trainer the other day, like when I was injured and before I had gone to Arizona, like I probably watched 2-3 weeks of baseball without being allowed to play, and like something as simple as just tossing catch, having a catch on the field I was like, damn, I took that for granted. Like that's to be able to throw a baseball without pain is truly a blessing, and so it just like allowed me to step back and like be more grateful for things. Just see it from a different lens. Like it, to be out there is a blessing, and to be healthy off the field or on the field is everything. A lot of people take that health for granted.
So if we can go back a little way, mate. So high school for you was incredibly successful. So in your senior year, I think you batted .495, and you also had a 9-2 record on the mound, and that was a 1.27 ERA, and that obviously led to some accolades and awards. But you also played football too. So in what point in your young career did you decide that it was baseball that you were going to focus
on? That's a good question. I think I kind of always knew in the back of my head, like, I wanted to be a baseball player. But then as football season was going on, like junior and senior year, there's a different feel to the football team than there is the baseball team. Football is really tight-knit. It's truly like blood family. Like you just go through everything with their boys, and it's just a different feel. So for a little while I got caught up in that, in wanting to kind of try both in college. And that was even after I had committed to Hofstra in 10th grade, I think. And a year or two later, I'm like, damn, I really don't want to give up football. Like it's a great sport. It's amazing. But I think after a while, like a little bit of like realism comes through, and like, okay, maybe I'm not I won't go as far in football as I can in baseball. And baseball was my first sport. It's something I always loved. I still remember like being like 8 years old, watching a travel team at my local high school and being like, I want to do that. Like, I still remember that same moment. So it's just like a deeper, longer love for the game. And I just thought I could get more out of myself through baseball than football.
So being recruited out of high school for you when it comes to baseball, that wasn't a challenge for you at all. You were recruited by Connecticut, St. John's, Stony Brook, and you just said you committed quite early to Hofstra. Can you talk to me about why you made that choice and why you committed to them?
Yeah. So growing up, obviously, like I live 15, 20 minutes from Hofstra. So growing up, I just passed it, like on Hempstead Turnpike. I just drove past it every now and then. I always told myself as a kid, like, I will never go to Hofstra. Like, I didn't like the way it looked. I didn't like the way it felt. And then, they started calling, they started offering, and I took a visit, and I was like, everything changed. I was like, wow, this is not what I thought it was. I thought the campus was beautiful. I really liked the coaches, and just the package they offered. And I went in as a two-way, so I thought I was going to be playing like a lot of infield. Um, so that was kind of like that kind of drew me in a little bit. But it's just like eventually I took a like going into the visit I wasn't confident at all. I didn't want to do the visit. I didn't want to do it. And then at the end of it, like my whole mindset has changed. I was like, oh my God, like I think I might actually want to come here.
Well, you hit 495. You should have been playing infield, mate. That's some crazy numbers. So, if you think about that whole recruiting process, and we have a lot of young people listen to this as well, which was surprising for me because I thought they'd be all older. But a lot of people that are in high school, is there any advice or is there anything different that you would do in your recruiting journey, or is there anything that you'd like to impart on young people of some things to be wary of?
Yeah, I don't think I regret committing early, but at the same time, I do wish I would have just not been so rushed into it. Especially in today's game, like I'm seeing like eighth graders commit like to these crazy schools, and who knows if they actually end up going there or not. But I think just like taking your time, like I felt like I had someone like rushing me to make a decision, and like in reality, there was no rush at all. If anything, it was just pressure from other coaches and stuff. Um, so just make sure it's what you truly want to do, and it's tough to know that as a sophomore in high school, like where you want to go. Like you're barely in high school, you barely experience your local school. So how do you know, how you're gonna feel in 2 years and stuff like that? So I think it's just like treat it with patience, even if all the offers are flooding in and stuff. Like just be patient. You have time. You don't need to commit in ninth, 10th grade.
Now, you were 42 mound appearances in 15 starts in your college career, and all 11 of your appearances in your senior year were starts as well. So you went 73 innings, 89 strikeouts, and you had some huge games too. There was a 13 strikeout performance against Northeastern. During that final year of college, did you have any contact with MLB teams? Were people reaching out to you? I mean, you've had a 13 strikeout game, mate. Like, that's got to put you on a couple of radars.
Yeah, not too many, especially during the year. Maybe towards the end of the year, I had one or two teams reach out, but I didn't even, like, I wasn't sure if I was going to get drafted. It was a 50-50 shot, like, in my head. So when I got to summer ball, which I actually kind of made like a risky decision by going back to the Perfect Game League because I could have went to like a more prestigious league and all that, but I really loved the league. I loved my host family. I grew so much as a person being out in that league the summer before that I was like, you know what? Maybe I can get drafted even if I go to this league, And uh, that's when kind of teams started reaching out. Honestly, I think only like 6 teams ended up reaching out, but they didn't reach out until I was done with the school year.
So it's the 2021 MLB draft. It's the 16th round. The Mariners call your name. Can you just take me back to what that day was like for you? Where were you? Who was around you? What did you feel when your name was called? Because, look, we'll call a spade, mate. You're a little bit better at sport than I am. I'm probably never going to have that, that moment that you had. So can you just take me? Can you just take me into your world for a moment as an MLB draftee?
Yeah, I'll never forget that day. We were at my host family. We're on the farm. It was a farm we lived on. Me and my buddy Keegan Leffler. We were doing our hip mobility before we go to the field, like just on the front lawn, and we're kind of keeping up with the draft tracker. I was getting a little nervous because it was rounds like 15. I'm like, oh God, 5 rounds left. Like, let's see if this happens. And so I'm watching the draft tracker. My buddy Keegan's watching the draft tracker, and all of a sudden, like he goes, Jimmy Joyce, Seattle Mariners. And I'm like, shut up. And so his tracker was quicker than mine, so I didn't get the notification. And I'm like, shut up, stop playing with me. And so it finally comes up like 25 seconds later, 30 seconds. It probably felt like an eternity at the time. And then like another minute or so, I get a call from Seattle, and I just remember being in like my little 90-90 position on the front lawn, just on the phone, and just like full of joy, full of everything. Like, of course, yeah, of course I'll sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want a chance. And what's cool is my buddy actually has a picture of me on the phone, like in the hip mobility position, talking to the guys, and that's one that's one I'll keep for life, I think.
So I ask this question of every guest we have on that's a pitcher. Um, so Seattle, our track record, our team of staff, our just the guys that we've been able to produce. We're not going to talk about today's game, but we are going to talk about look at somebody like Bryan Woo, right? Who wasn't as polished of a gem as he is now. This is what we do within our organisation. If you come to Seattle, you've got more of a shot of becoming something with us than you do with any of the other teams. So when it was the Mariners that called your name as somebody who is an arm, how thankful for you were you that you got that shot with us?
Well, truthfully, the Mariners never called me, so I didn't. And being from New York, like I didn't know anything about them. Like, I didn't know they were so good with arms, and like I was just like, oh, Mariners, like that's a pretty cool team. I like their colors, you know. And then once I got to Oregon, kind of started to learn their process and learn like the blueprint of what they do. I was like, oh wow, like I got lucky. Like I think I'm in the right spot for what I need.
So last year you were one of our ranked prospects. So you hit, I think I saw you hit as high as 21. And I'm guilty of this. Every fan is. We salivate over the next generation of players. I guess we're waiting for like the next superstar to deliver us a World Series or maybe just even get to one. But do you guys as players worry about those rankings and outside opinions at all? Like when the 100 prospects come out or when the Mariners top 30 prospects roll out, is that something that you pay attention to or you're just like, you know what, I got a job to do out on the mound. Like I'm just going to do that to the best of my abilities.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a prospect or not. It just comes down to performing and being the best you can be on and off the field. Most guys aren't caught up with that and stuff because you could be on it and then you could be off it the next year, like it happened. And for me, it doesn't matter. Like I still have the same belief in myself. So we try to stay away from that outside noise, I think, as much as possible.
So the draft is right around the corner. What advice would you give to a young player who, like you a few years ago, is about to have their name called at any stage of the draft? What can they expect after they've been drafted? So you have that moment with your family and your friends. What can they expect afterwards? And what wisdom would you like to, I guess, impart on them? Because you've been there and you've done that.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna experience like that high for that week. And I think being in the facility that first week, like there's so many new people, new emotions, like so many energies going around. Like you kind of do really need to stay grounded, or else like you can lose yourself pretty quickly. I think the biggest thing is just like day in and day out, you have to be authentic to yourself. Like don't try to be like the other people around you. Don't try to make like crazy changes because you see someone else doing something. Like if you can be who you are, like as you got drafted and continue that on, like I think that's the biggest thing.
Coming into the draft, you were listed as having three pitches. You had the fastball, the curve, and the changeup. Is that still what you're rocking at the moment, or have the Mariners been able to help you add, or maybe they've taken something away? But what have they been able to do to your pitch mix, and what are you rocking right now?
Yeah, right now I'm still rocking those three pitches. We're working on like a little gyro. It's kind of like a bullet slider, just spin straight down. If any, they definitely maximized like my pitches. So like we've adjusted my changeup, get more negative break, get more horizontal break, stuff like that. Um, as far as fastball, it's been the same. I mean, it's changed like naturally, like metric wise a little bit, but um, besides the addition of the little gyro thing I'm throwing, it's been the same three pitches my whole life. I'm confident in them, and I've lost them here and there. Like last year, I wasn't really throwing the curveball as much as I think I wasn't ever. It was like the go-to punch-out pitch, and last year I didn't really have that. So navigating that was very interesting. And since I didn't have it, they're like, all right, let's work on a smaller slider that we can locate, we can fill it up, and that's still a work in progress right now. As any new pitch, it just takes reps and reps and reps and reps to build that confidence to throw it how you want it, when you want it, where you want it. Um, but yeah, they've definitely like the insights they've given me over the years is like really opened my mind to pitching. Like this is stuff I never knew existed. But it's cool. It's cool because I kind of have like funky stuff. Like it's kind of unorthodox. But then to like be able to work through that with them, it's like they explain to me why this works, why I'm good, and stuff like that. So just having that knowledge or perspective is pretty cool.
You've been with us for a while now. You said that you're very confident and comfortable in what you've got, but is there anything that you would like to add to your game? Has there been a pitch that you've looked at that maybe one of your idols threw growing up, or something that maybe one of the other guys in your team throws that you're like, you know what, I actually would like to add that? Or kind of once you've added that gyro in, are you kind of that's for your set and you just want to perfect them and you're going to ride or die with them?
Yeah, I think being 26 now, that's kind of the case. I'm not really looking to add anything more, but I really do need to like solidify that new pitch shape. That way I can just consistently locate it and it can actually be helpful to my arsenal. Um, I mean, so many guys have nasty stuff, but like for me to like that's them, you know, that's their stuff. Like I have my own stuff that's nasty, and if I can just keep working on that and keep trying to chip away and perfect it, I think that will serve me best.
So you did mention you have been a little bit hurt this season, but you've thrown 8.1 innings. You've given up only three hits. You've got the straight zeros on the ERA. Um, when you have been on the mound, you've been nothing short of being fantastic. So if you can reflect on your season so far, how do you think you have gone? And what are some of your own personal goals for the remainder of this year?
This year is interesting because I'm getting good results so far, but I still feel like I'm not where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a little bit of a luck factor, I think, for now. And like take that lightly because, there's luck everywhere and whatever. But um, for me, like, it's just working with what you got, like, on that day. I'm not going to have all four pitches every time I go out. Most of the time, I have two of them. And if that's what's working, like, that's what's working. Last year was a big learning curve for me because I was mostly fastball changeup last year, and velo was a little down. So throwing a double A hitters with two pitches that kind of move the same way, it's tough. These guys will jump on you and they'll get you, but it taught me so much about like just grit. Like you got what you got, and we're gonna compete with it. Like my motto this year is kind of like, how can I like out focus the batter? Like, can I stay like way more locked in than he is? And like me and Jared Sunstrom, we do this thing. It's like we take it from here and we go here, and it's just like a reminder, like bring everything in, bring all your energy, all your concentration into one thing, and then just go for it, compete. And so that's been working for me. Like I said, it's a weird year. I've had years where I don't have to think about anything and I'm just punching the world, and then years where I don't have everything and it's just a grind, a battle. But that's part of it, man. Like that's arguably the biggest part of it because when mid-season comes along and the velo shoots up and you start locating better, you're more comfortable on the mound. It's like that mixed with that aggression and focus, it's tough to beat you.
This interview is about you, but I do want to talk about the Travs for a second as a team. You've got yourself some pretty big reinforcements lately. Our good mate Charlie Bielenson has joined you on the pitching side, and then there's some guy named Lazaro Montez who, I mean, I don't think he can not hit a home run, and then Michael Arroyo, just every single bloody level that he goes to, you wait for that adjustment process and it never comes with him. He's that bloody good. So they've been added to the lineup, and those guys are amazing. They've added to what's already a really talented group. So it must feel good for you knowing as a pitcher that your team is dangerous every single night. I mean, the season's only fresh, mate. You're already like a plus 27 in run differential right now. Like you must be walking into every game quite confident.
Yeah, I would say the confidence is there, but those two guys are like, oof, they kind of bumped us up when we needed it. I mean, and talk about like good people, like on top of good players. Lázaro Montes is like one of the best dudes out there. He's joking around. He's got a great sense of humor, whether it's Spanish, English, broken English. Like he's just fun to be around. And then when they perform like that, it ties everything together. Like they they have been a huge help. And I watched every game with Brock Rod, and while we were in rehab, we watched every Travis game, and it seems like they came like just at the perfect point. We needed a little boost.
So there's some really big names, but can you give me not one? Can you give me two? Can you give me one on the pitching side and one on the hitting side? Who down in Arkansas is flying under the radar and not getting the attention that they deserve?
Kingsbury, Jimmy Kingsbury. He talk about a dog. Like whether he's hurting, whether anything, like he'll never deny the ball. He will go out there and he'll give it everything he's got, and he gets results, man. Like he's got nasty stuff, and he just pounds his own and over and over and over and over again. Like it's gonna produce eventually. Baseball is so weird. You can do everything right and give up a grand slam and ruin the numbers, but as far as like what's inside, Jimmy Kingsbury is he's underrated. He's a dog. He's a great dude. Like, and most of all, he's a competitor. Like he hates losing. So that's my guy on the pitcher side. On the position player side, I wouldn't say he's under the radar. He's probably up and coming, but like just Jared Sunshine, same type of dude. Just he's more easygoing, kind of a little bit laid back, but he plays the game with fire. He's a great hitter, great outfielder. Great dude. Like, I think the biggest thing about all that is like who they are, you know, like that's what ties everything together. You can have a great arm and like someone can do so great for a team, but if they're an asshole, like it doesn't work the same way, you know? It doesn't lift everyone up. Like it creates these uneasy energies. But when you got a guy like Sonny, like Laz, like Kingsbury, who are great people too, like I think that's like the magic touch, you know?
We've been so lucky with people that we've had on the podcast. When I landed in Seattle, I had Brock Moore down in Everett. He just messaged me just to see like how I was doing. As soon as I got home, Grant Knipp, who you probably would have run into down in Arizona, he's just like, "Hey, how was the trip? Did you get home safely?" Like Charlie's another guy we can message. Like we just can't fault. It's like they've done a great job of drafting talent, but it's like there's a no arsehole policy. Everybody there just seems like there's good vibes. So it's exciting for us as fans because hopefully you guys can all come up together, and it's going to
Yeah.
mean so much more when we do get to that promised land. So for Mariners fans out there who, they may not know you, this may be their first time hearing of you or hearing you speak. How would you describe yourself, and what would you like Mariners fans to know about you as a person? What are you bringing to our organisation?
Um, I would like to say I'm just not willing to give up. Whether whatever is facing me in adversity, like I'm just gonna keep striving. I'm gonna do my best to keep character first, and then hopefully the rest falls into place with hard work. I just think it's like when you can control what you can control, like that's it. Like just let it be. Everything else is just blah blah blah. So for me, it's just trying to be the same dude every day, trying to be the best version of myself, and then when it when it comes to competition, it's like just being fearful and like actually putting everything out on the line. Whether you're not feeling great or you've had something happen at home or whatever it is, it's like just still trying to show up the same guy every day, which is it's tough. Some people do it a lot better than I do. Obviously, I'm not perfect at that, but I'm definitely working at it. But yeah, just for them, like just knowing that I'm gonna give it everything I got until they take the ball away from me.
Now, when you aren't in baseball mode, and I know you probably don't have too much time when you're not thinking about baseball or being involved in it, but when you're not in baseball mode, what do you enjoy doing? What's your escape and your mental reset from work look like?
Um, in in Arizona, I like exploring. It was a little too hot, but we got to go out in a couple places with the guys. But I'm a big explorer. Like I like nature. I try to read a lot of books. I think I read like 6 books in 6 weeks out there. Just trying to whatever it takes to just get to that next little level. I did recently. I read an archery book, and it really relates to pitching. It's all about the presence of the shot. It's called Zen in the Art of Archery, and I ended up getting a compound bow like the next day. And so when I go home, that's gonna be like my little hobby for All-Star break. I got a little archery range in the park next to my house, and I think I'm just gonna practice that, like practice the presence of shooting targets. It's literally the exact same as pitching. And there's like a spiritual essence to it that really draws me in. That's what I like. I like that kind of stuff. Something that's gonna like make the spirit feel good, like fulfill and learn. Like that's learning. Um, Being in rehab, there's so much free time. Like there were some days. I mean, me and Brock pretty much did the same thing every day, living together. But there was like there's just so much time to learn stuff. And like when you learn, for me, like when I'm learning something new, it's like it gives me a new feeling. It gives me some fulfillment and like, okay, I'm getting better and I know I'm getting better at something. And if it translates, it translates, and if it doesn't, like so be it. I know something new, you know?
Yeah, I like that. You know, it's all good and well to be like, oh yeah, you know, I like to hang out with friends or go out and do whatnot. But I think sometimes just being mindful of yourself, being mindful of your surroundings, and actually having that break and that refreshment mentally can just be so important for you. So
Yeah.
who do you lean on for support? We've had so many people come on and speak glowingly about, you know, it might be former coaches, might be mums, dads, sisters. Who do you lean on for support? Who's the person that you feel like always has your back, no matter if it's a good outing, bad outing, you're injured, you're healthy, you're mentally up, you're mentally down? Who's your rock? Who's your go-to person?
That's my mom for sure. Um, like she cares more about me as a person than as a baseball player, obviously. She'd rather me be mentally fit and okay rather than me, being a head case and fighting mental health stuff rather than like, you know what I'm saying? She cares about who I am more than anything. So I know that whatever I do on the baseball field, like good, bad, or anything, like she's there. If I need to talk, if I need to cry to her, like it's happened in the past. I mean, pro ball is not easy, and I think everyone goes through their ups and downs of it, and just like reminding me that she loves me and like all this stuff is required to get where I want to be. If I honestly don't think like if I just walked through everything without a blimp on the radar, that like it would not be nearly as rewarding, and I wouldn't get as much out of myself as I could.
As a parent myself, there is nothing more than we like doing than just being there to support. Mine's a bit different. Mine is my marble run got knocked over. That's the big thing. Yours is, yeah, I gave up 7 hits today, but it's the same thing when you break it down. You just want to be there for your kids. And I mean, mums, dad, just everyone's incredible, you know, as they support you. And sometimes I would imagine, not being a pro athlete myself, but sometimes it just must be so nice just to also be able to have a phone call that doesn't involve baseball. If you don't want it to, it can just be a check-in when you want. So
Yeah.
I've got to ask, mate, because the one thing we do have in common, the ink, the tattoos. What's the meaning, or was it like me and it was a stupid decision that you just had a bit of extra money? What's going on the arm, mate?
I got a couple things. It's not done, but it's also like been 3 or 4 years since I got a new one. I got a couple. I got a different piece from a different artist everywhere. So I'm trying to like. I like to get a different artist and try and piece together one big picture. That's been in a little bit of a standstill for the past couple of years, but it just relates to like my journey and everything. I have like a spiritual growth tattoo here. I have the three hearts for my family. I got a family tree, sun peeking through the clouds just to remind me that like tomorrow's a new day. The always will come up. Just faith-based related stuff, kind of little reminders for me. Keep
Yeah,
going.
I like that. They're always there. You can't not look at them. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, I like that. Now,
What do you got?
nah, no, I'm not exposing myself here. No, mine's mine's a full sleeve of Harry Potter.
Hey, there you go.
it's, it's not nice. No, I've got to. Yeah, we got to do something. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's not manly. Everyone goes, "Oh, you got the full arm, like you must be tough." It's like, nah, this is like a teenager's book. Let's just simmer down just a little touch. Now, I love to finish up with the same two questions for every guest. So the first is a bit of a fun one. So you're having a hypothetical dinner party and you need to invite 4 people to it. 2 have to be current Mariners players who you think you're going to vibe with at the table. And the other 2 can be anybody that you want, dead or alive. It can be historical figures. It could be your mum. You've got 4 people, 2 current Mariners, 2 just normies. Who's coming to your party, mate?
This is tough. Um, for the Mariners side, I'm good friends with Bryce, and he's just like he's hysterical. Like he's a smart dude. He's got a great sense of humor. He's just fun to be around. granted, we don't like hang out off the field as much, obviously, because he's up there and stuff. But I got to see him in rehab, and he's just a funny dude. Like he's got a little charisma to him, and I know him, so we'd have some good conversations. I'll say Bryce and Cal, especially the year he's having. He's unbelievable. I was talking to my high school coach the other day, and he's like, "What's Cal like?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know him too well. We've talked a little bit in the past, and one thing I notice is that he's the same dude every day. Like he's level-headed. He's a hard worker, probably one of the hardest workers in that building. Obviously, he's catching like 95% of the season's games each year. Like just to dive into his brain a little bit more, I'd be really interested in. Um, and like I said, two great dudes, so the vibes are gonna be fine.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then on my side of things, man, I'm trying to think, who do I really look up to? You got me stuck on this one,
I know
man.
we give you no prep on these either because then people overthink it. You've got to. We just want it to be authentic and yeah, like everyone always comes up with. We got on a Kobe Bryant run for a while. We had like four
Really?
people in a row with Kobe. Yeah,
Um, I'm trying to think a little bit outside of the box, like Gandhi.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Get some wisdom from him, maybe. And then Marcus Aurelius. See what he's got going up there. Because I'm trying to read a couple of his books. They're hard to read though. I just don't have the understanding for it yet. But it'd be interesting to kind of get into his brain, deep philosophy.
Yeah, that's just listening to like historical figures and where they saw the world going, and is the world currently where they saw it going? Like, obviously, they had no idea that this technology was going to come along, right? That's changed everything. But yeah, that's a. I'll invite myself to that dinner party. That's not bad. That's crazy because Bryce Miller is he and Julio are my favorite players. I was shattered when I went to Seattle last time. Like he was meant to pitch the next day, so I didn't get a chance to speak to him. But every year I take him an Australian football jersey, just as like
Nice.
I think sometimes the players like we use and abuse them. Like they get paid well. Don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of sacrifice that they need to give up from their side as well, whether that be relationships or the body as well. Like a lot of these guys out there, they're not going to be moving well. You look at somebody who's had a few arm injuries. How are you going to throw a ball with your kid when you're 50? They
Yeah.
sacrifice so much. So now I'm praying when I go back in August that he's pitching because when he's on, mate, that fastball is there's not
Yeah.
much there's not much better.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
electric.
he's a nice guy too, which is the best. So final question, and this is where we come groveling. So I was going to show you these things, but I actually ate them while I was waiting, while we're having technical issues. But we have these things called Tim Tams. They're the greatest biscuit in the world. So we're going to send you a pack of Tim Tams. We're going to send you a T-shirt as well, just
Nice.
as some appreciation for your time. But it's hard for us because, like we had Austin on last week, and he's like, some of the stuff that comes through the DMs is pretty disgusting, and we're obviously trying to hit players up. So sometimes they don't look at our messages. It's hard to have guests on, so we do require recommendations. So I'm going to ask you who we should have on the podcast as a guest, but put the caveat that whoever you say, you've got to help us get that interview on.
Okay. Um, no doubt, Teddy McGraw.
You're
Now,
not the first person that said him. I don't reckon I can even message him on Instagram. I reckon he's got it like
no.
locked or something.
So he's one of my best friends. He's one of the coolest dudes I've ever met. Just super in tune with everything. But as far as reaching him, good luck. I can do my best. He rarely has his phone on him. Like he doesn't have any social media. He's like the most present being I've ever been around. Um, I've actually learned so much from him just rooming with him and being in rehab with him, and we've gotten really close. And that's a dude who should be high up on the radar. Even if you took away all his baseball talent, he is like magnificent. Like such a great dude, so down to earth, so wise. Like he's been through so much hardship that he's just adapted. He's adjusted. He's gotten better. He's sacrificed, like to the point where, like I've never seen that from someone at such a high level. And I've gotten to watch him grow from like who he used to be to who he is now, and it's two different people. Like in a positive way, of course. But I can do my best on sending him a few texts. It might take a couple days for him to respond, but that's the guy you gotta pick his brain for sure.
Mate, he has been recommended by somebody else, and I know he's on my list that we can't reach, but I'm telling you, he has one of these Tim Tam biscuits. He'll come on the podcast. He'll want his own packet. So,
Yeah.
um, we'll bribe him somehow. Food's always a good one. But mate,
Yeah.
just thank you so much. I know we had some technical difficulties, which is not my strong suit. Just can't thank you enough for coming on. Like it's this is something that I love doing, but I can't do it without the support of the players, and hopefully we've been able to give you a little bit more exposure and help share your story because yeah, like you said, you've got some really funky stuff, and I think that you know I think that we need funky stuff out there. I think it throws a little bit extra out there that the batter's got to think about. And it's coming from a non-baseball person, but you look really hard to hit. So, mate, I'm wishing you all the very best with your career. If there's anything we can ever do for you, please sing out. And yeah, hopefully we continue to see you improve and grow and progress, not just on the mound, but, as a person as well as you find your way through life. So thank you so much for your time this morning, mate.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Nate. I appreciate you.
So a big thanks to Jimmy Joyce for his time. These guys, it means the world for them to give up their time to want to come and speak. Like anyone can start a podcast. And I just hope that we do right by the players. I hope that, we get around them, we can share their story and we can support them. Whether they be, on the big league roster, on the 40-man, whether they're in the minors, whether they've just been drafted. Hopefully they know if, someone is following Mariners Down Under, if they're representing our brand, they're reaching out, they're saying they heard the interview on our podcast, they know it's coming from a good place. So again, a quick plug, we've got our Everett Aquasox ticket giveaway, and we've got our baseball card giveaway as well that are running right now. But in terms of the All-Star break, very highly likely that I will take a week's break just to focus on a couple of my business projects back here in Australia. And then as soon as the All-Star break is over, we'll hit the ground running. We've got two guests all lined up, ready to go. Two very exciting arms, two conversations that you will want to definitely tune into. So thanks again for your support. Really does mean the world. We're going to have an Ichiro game-used memorabilia baseball card to give away over the next week or so. So make sure you're checking in on the Facebook page regularly. But again, really appreciate the support and stay safe, stay well, and go Mariners.